What's going on, everybody? It's Over the Ropes. I'm Tyler.
I'm Corlin. What's going on, my man?
What is up? Last day of the week, last show of the week, and we got your Smackdown review. How you doing?
I'm alright, man.
What'd you think of the show?
I don't think this is the best episode of SmackDown. I was just telling you right before we hopped on. Sometimes I have to watch these shows just in like bits and pieces because I'm so busy. I got 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here. So I don't know if I was a victim of that. I think the ending was intriguing, but this very much felt like a plant the seeds for a big week ahead. Because
Right.
there is a lot going on the next episode of SmackDown.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with next week. Uh, Considering
Yeah,
everything that's going on in the world right now.
yeah, this is like weird to talk about. It's like, are they actually going to do this?
Right.
I would not.
I wouldn't, but I'm not gonna pretend like I know the reaction online if they do, right? WWE
Yep.
doesn't give a fuck about their wrestlers, like blah 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 blah. And I get it, especially knowing like the McMahons, a lot of the top wrestlers are like big Trump supporters, like. But I don't know if they sit down with all the top, if they tell people, hey, if you don't feel comfortable going, you don't have to. The people that still want to make the Saudi money and go, like, as long as they leave it up to like the wrestlers, like their choice if they want to do it or not. I wouldn't do it, but like if everybody says they want to, because they want that payday, what are you gonna do? So
Yeah. This is this isn't on your bingo card, when you think about talking about wrestling. Are
right,
these guys going to survive this trip?
right.
This is eerie. And do you remember when didn't they get held hostage a couple years ago?
So, I mean, if you believe the dirt sheets, their plane,
Yeah.
like, didn't take off when it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Why? You know, depends on who you believe and what actually happened. Yeah, it was when they had that awesome NXT takeover
Yeah.
SmackDown.
I was gonna say then NXT just like held the show hostage, and that was back in like the Adam Cole era, and I was just like,
Yeah,
hell
that was
yeah.
right around the time they did that Survivor Series where it's Raw versus
Yep.
SmackDown versus NXT. What a Survivor
Yeah.
Series. Keith Lee.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Lee versus Roman Reigns, right?
Well, it was a Survivor Series.
Oh, it's a triple threat, right?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
was
It
it?
was a traditional. Yeah, it was 5-on-5-on-5.
Oh man,
And
I
yeah,
need to go back and watch that.
I think Adam Cole defended his title against Pete Dunne.
That was like the best era of NXT for me. I
Was
love
a really
Adam
good
Cole era NXT. I know he's not a popular name to mention, but like who was red hot back then? Velveteen Dream.
He really was. Yeah.
That guy was insane.
Riddle,
Yep.
Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
I don't think there's a bigger Kyle O'Reilly fan out there than me, man. I love Kyle O'Reilly.
I'm not far behind you. I'm sure you were bigger, but I'm pretty close with you.
Let's see. Dolph and Robert Roode in a 10-team interbrand tag team battle royal.
Yeah, like all the tag
That's
teams.
a nothing match. Viking Raiders versus New Day versus Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Viking Raiders won. Wow, yeah, these are just monster matches.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Are you ready for Team NXT? For the women's?
Oh, women's, let me try to guess. Rhea.
Yep.
Bianca.
Yep.
Candice.
Yep.
Are they still under contract? The other two.
So one of them is, one of them's not, and you listed them in the order that they're listed, which is crazy.
One is and one isn't. Nah. Shit. What show's the one that's Raw or SmackDown?
Raw. She's a big part of Raw.
Lyra?
No, she wasn't in yet.
I didn't think so.
Bigger.
It's not Becky. It's not Bailey. Wow,
what a loaded team.
Raquel.
Nope. Even bigger.
It's not Liv, is it? No. What is it?
It's not.
No, I was gonna say she should have been on the main roster. I don't know. Who?
Io.
Oh, Io. Yeah. And then Dakota?
Nope.
Who's the last one?
Tony Storm.
Okay. Damn.
What a team.
What a team. And then
way better than the SmackDown team. The SmackDown team is Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Carmella, and Sasha Banks.
Ooh.
What a horrible team.
Raw must have been
and I don't mean that like offensively. That's just like a group of people I never really got into. I am not a Sasha Mercedes guy.
No.
I like Carmella a lot, actually.
Carmella,
I really, really
like
Carmella.
Fan of Carmella, yeah.
But, oof.
Raw must be pretty good then, huh?
Charlotte, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi, Sarah Logan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Roddy Strong versus AJ versus Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Oh, man, let's just talk about this instead of SmackDown. My God.
I know, right? Look at that show. All right, let me guess Team NXT.
Oh, I just closed it. Stand by. For the men's?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Keith Lee.
Yep.
Matt Riddle.
Oh my God. Yeah, wow.
Velveteen Dream.
Nope.
Gargano.
Nope.
Ciampa.
Yes.
Wasn't Adam Cole. Black.
No.
Andrade.
Nope.
Damn. Kyle.
Both are main roster now. Both are main roster, and both have been world champions.
Have been world champions?
Yep. The last two have been world champions.
Gunther.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there another
one?
one?
Who did he beat? Yeah, who did he beat for the title? The first time.
Oh, Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What a team. Yeah, because everybody got super butthurt because Gunther got eliminated super quick. You remember?
I didn't until you said it, but yeah, I do now.
Yeah.
Wow. Team SmackDown is Roman Reigns, and then Strowman, Corbin, and Mustafa Ali, who are all gone, and Shorty G, the worst fucking gimmick of all time.
All right. Enough of the Survivor Series. What year was that? I'm going to go back and watch that today.
2019. I'm 100% going to watch that after the NBA Finals tonight.
Yeah.
Go Pacers. I'm going Pacers.
All right, let's get into SmackDown. So we start.
Let us talk to you.
Start off the best way you could. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Talk to you. LA Knight comes walking out. Looks like they're setting up a Seth Rollins LA Knight feud. I'm into it.
It does. There's definitely a lot of Seth and LA Knight. At least Seth's cronies.
That was not on my bingo card, but we get Seth versus LA Knight at SummerSlam. I'm fucking down.
I feel like it's positioning more for maybe LA versus Braun Breaker, but we'll see. I mean, he's definitely going to be fighting someone in that group.
Yeah. So he comes out. He says, Seth and this guy screwed me out of Money in the Bank, so I got one back, screwed one of their guys, then they returned the favor, so then I got to return the favor again, and it ends tonight. Seth Rollins, LA Knight, yeah. And instead we get Paul Heyman. Heyman says he is the biggest LA Knight fan in WWE. He goes, I always wanted to do this. Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was funny. I was laughing. He tells him he needs to leave or something really bad's going to happen. And he says, Seth did a favor to me by letting me warn you ahead of time to get out of here because I am a fan of you. And LA Knight says, I've already heard this before, probably when he was feuding with Roman. He says, if you can't deliver Seth Rollins, then it'll be me and you tonight. He said, you know what? I'll turn around and let you have the first shot. So he turns around. By the time he turns back around, Heyman's already out the ring, up the ramp. Wants none of it. And then here comes Beefcakes. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, they attack LA Knight, but LA Knight ends up getting a chair, ends up fight. I'm shocked he fought them off by himself.
Yeah,
but they're writing him strong, man. Like I keep telling people this all the time. People all the time are like, "Oh, LA Knight needs to win this," or "LA Knight doesn't need to win shit." He bulletproof, dude. It don't matter. Like,
I was really worried about him after he did win Money in the Bank.
Nah,
but you're right.
Teflon.
Hey, he got it this week.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I hesitated like 4 times to make sure I was saying the right word. Teflon, that guy is. He doesn't need to win shit. But I thought it was a fun way to open the show. For a show that frankly wasn't all that great, I thought it was a fun way to start the show.
Yeah, it was solid. Definitely planted some seeds. After this, I think they went to commercial. They come back, and Heyman is backstage with, I think it was just Braun Breaker. And he's like,
no, it was both.
No, it was both of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, things are under control. This is working out in our favor. And Byron Saxton walks up, and Braun Breaker just starts acting like a rabid dog, like foaming at the mouth and barking and charging at him.
Yeah,
Psycho.
Heyman's like,
he announces,
you can't bite him.
He announces Bronson Reed versus LA Knight for later in the show. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But before that, we get the Queen of the Ring semifinal. We get Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Match was all right. I was kind of hoping for a little more. I think Asuka's qualifier was better.
Well, 2 people. I mean, Alexa's been back for about half a year now, but still 2 people that had a long absence. They've wrestled each other a lot of times, you know.
So in this one, Alexa's on the top rope. She thinks about going for Twisted Bliss, and then I'm assuming she thought Asuka was playing possum, so she gets back down, and Asuka was. Asuka ends up taking control. I think she sinks in some submissions. Alexa goes for Twisted Bliss for real this time. Asuka gets the knees up, hits the Empress Impact. Your winner, I believe, as we both predicted, Asuka is headed to the finals.
Yep. Night of Champions
next week. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, this is one of those matches that, like, you're like, okay, Asuka just came back. She won in the first round. Like, she should win this. This would be really cool. But Alexa's my girl. I love me some Alexa Bliss. I'm going to root for Alexa Bliss. Any match she's in, does not matter what. So, it's one of those ones where it's like, either way, I'm going to be happy who wins this. But, yeah, I think Asuka made more sense to win this one. So,
yeah, I would agree.
But, yeah, no. I mean, and they have whatever story they're planning with Alexa, so, like, she could lose this, which we're going to get a little so
that was part of why I was leaning on Asuka, and I think we talked about that a bit.
Yeah.
And they dove right into that story a little bit later.
Right into it. So then we got Jade, B-Fab, and Michin backstage watching. Michin says that her and B-Fab need to talk to all of this about going for the tag titles. Don't hate the team. Saxton rolls in and asks about Jade's match against Roxanne Perez and facing Asuka if she wins that. Jade says Roxanne has potential, but this isn't a proving ground. It's a throne room, and she's ready for the crown. It's probably... I think we both agree Jade's probably going to win against Roxanne. So it's going to be Jade and Asuka in the finals, which...
What a collision.
There's no right or wrong winner. Whoever wins is going to be the right pick. Because we either get Jade getting her first title match and getting, probably Naomi cashing in, or we're going to get Asuka and Io, which, damn.
Which is, yeah. They could put on the match of the weekend.
Really could, yeah. So then Chelsea and the Secret Harvest run into Alexa. Chelsea says she should be in the Queen of the Ring, and she shouldn't be built. She'd be building her parliament if it wasn't for Alexa. Charlotte interrupts. Charlotte challenges Chelsea. Alexa tells Charlotte that she doesn't need her help. Charlotte said she wasn't, which we get more into later.
Just catty. I wasn't helping you.
Yeah. But I like this weird, they have so much history, and they've wrestled each other on and off. So it's this weird hey, we both have kind of been in the same spot. At one point, Alexa and Charlotte's characters were a lot alike. We're kind of our generation. I feel like it's this weird mutual respect, but don't really like each other, weird story going on, hey, more stories that don't involve titles for the women, the better. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep. We need them.
We definitely need them.
I love Chelsea's line about, I'd be building my parliament right now. She just is the craziest, funniest shit. She's hilarious.
She's literally one of the best
parts every week. After this, we get Kit Wilson in the ring, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's a little reminder that his tag team partner had gotten hurt. I can't remember who they were fighting, but you knew he got busted up pretty bad. So we get Kit Wilson versus Aleister Black, and so I'm thinking, well, here's a squash match for Aleister, who's coming off of 2 multi-man matches he didn't win, so, an easy way for him to get a win. But R-Truth ends up jumping Kit Wilson before Aleister can even get into the ring. And R-Truth demands John Cena. He's like, I'm not waiting for the main event. I want him right now. They cut to break. They come back. Backstage, Jamie Noble's trying to calm down R-Truth, and Aleister approaches, and he's like, oh, so you're getting involved in my matches now. Truth's like, look, man, it wasn't personal. It had nothing to do with you. And then behind them, Damian Priest. And he tries, he intervenes, and he backs up Truth, and he's like, look, man, he's going through a lot. And Aleister walks off, and Priest pretty much talks Truth down, off the ledge. He's like, calm down, man. Just take all this energy. He's like, I've been there. I've been this guy who just goes crazy and attacks everyone. He's like, take that energy, use it on Cena later tonight. But all I could think of during this face-off is, Priest versus Aleister. The darkness versus the darkness. Just, I like a weird collision course, but I kind of liked it.
I was thinking, are they gonna, because once the Cena thing ends, what else do they have with Truth right now? I was thinking, are they gonna make Truth and Priest the tag team? Because all the history.
Yeah, I mean, they had their moments in Judgment Day,
right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I was just really, really bummed that this cost me an Aleister Black match. I was so bummed. Because I had already decided ahead of time when I was watching, I was like, I'm probably done after this segment. And then he didn't have a match, and I was like, son of a bitch!
Right.
But it's alright.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I've seen is, how sometimes they, especially during the big pay-per-views, they have, a montage of wrestlers watching matches and stuff. So they did that this year for last year's Rumble, the one that Cody won, and at one point they had Truth and Priest watching together, and it shoots to them while Truth is running out, and Truth's like, yeah, I'm here to help you, Priest, I'm here to help, and then a minute later, Priest throws Truth out. As they're watching it, and Truth's face just goes straight, and he just stares at Priest, and Priest is hiding his face. He's doing everything he can not to laugh. And Truth's like, bro! It's they're so funny together. They're so great. So then we get Cody coming out to the ring. Before he can even say anything, Jay Uso comes out. Jay says Cody doesn't have to say anything. They've been through the trenches, fighting his family, winning tag team gold, finishing their stories at Mania. But on Monday, there's only room for one of them. They dap up before he can say anything. Sammy's music hits. Sammy says he's happy to share the ring with his friends. He's proud of them. He's aware that he's the only one who's never been champion. And then here comes Randy.
Yeah.
He says that there's no line he won't cross to get to Cena, to beat Cody. He says that the Usos and his family go way back. But if he faces Jay, it will be 3 letters, 1 move, RKO.
I loved that.
Randy says one day soon Sammy will be world champion at WrestleMania. But SummerSlam is not that day. And tonight Sammy is on the receiving end of the 3 most devastating letters. And everybody was like, oh, Cody didn't even say anything. Thank God Cody didn't say anything. This was nice, quick, easy. You know why I didn't have Cody speak? Because this mother would have been dragged out 15 minutes.
They would still be talking.
Still be talking. Exactly. 100%.
I did notice that he didn't get to talk in this. And I liked that segment, though. I did like it, but I just realized, like, wow, yeah, Cody really didn't say anything.
Did not speak one word.
But what was cool is you got the 4 guys that are still left in it, so you kind of get to look at all the, like, possible matchups there. And Sammy really putting himself out there talking about how he's the only one out of the 4 that's never won gold.
Yep.
And he gets his chance here, so this takes us right into Sammy versus Randy.
Yep.
Randy hits his backdrop onto the announce table spot. And Sammy gets him back, which I loved. Randy hits his shoulder off the ring post. Sammy follows up for the haluva kick. Randy counters into that snap power slam. I absolutely loved that. Sammy was just going for haluva kick after haluva kick. Orton counters again, goes for the RKO. Sammy countered that into the Blue Thunder Bomb. Randy goes for another RKO. Sammy spins out of this one, but Randy finally hits it. Just great series of reversals here.
Yeah.
As Sammy was going in for another haluva kick when Randy finally hit it. So Randy gets the win. This is 2 years in a row. Randy moves on in the tournament. Last year he was obviously in the finals against Gunther. What'd you think of the match?
That was good. I was surprised Randy won. I think that we thought, or at least I thought, it was going to get to Sammy.
I think this is the one we split.
Yeah, I thought it was going to get Sammy and Cody, and then Sammy was going to lose, getting so close, then have to work his way back. You know what I'm saying? So I was surprised Randy won here, but maybe this was their way of saying, let's get Randy and Cody without having to turn anybody right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, makes sense. This is why I liked the single show pay-per-views. This is why matches need to be, or pay-per-views need to be longer than 5 matches, because every single pay-per-view, it's Randy, it's Cody, it's Gunther, it's Jay, it's kind of the same guys over and over. But I mean, it's not like it was like Black or Carmelo, it's Sammy. He's in that same group, so I'm not like super like disappointed, you know. I'm a big Randy fan, so it's fine. It was a good match. So
it was.
Yeah.
Good series of reversals too.
Yeah, for sure. So then Nia comes out to the ring. She talks about Tiffany, how she brought her under her wing. Tiffany betrayed her. Then Tiffany comes out and says Nia's like a toxic ex. Nia says, if you're so much better, why don't you give me a rematch without kicking a chair in my face? And Tiffany says, you know what? Your luck next week. Last woman standing. She said, it looks like we're going to be adding some scars to Nia's 5 head, which, damn.
I laughed at that.
So they start fighting. Nia gets the upper hand. Nia takes Tiffany out. Naomi's music hits. She sprints down to cash in, and Nia stops her. Says, nope. Tiffany comes to, drop kicks Naomi into Nia, and they're going to play with this for a few weeks until I think Naomi's going to be the one that's like constantly trying to cash in until probably SummerSlam-ish. Seth's not even going to attempt to cash in until he cashes in. So.
Yep. So Seth's going to lull us to sleep.
Yeah. Seth, he'll come out and like flash it, but not actually do it, So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nia just keeps denying Naomi though. Mm-hmm. Not letting her do it.
Yeah. Same thing Tiffany was doing to who had it last year? Oh, Tiffany had it. But
Nia, it was these three.
Yeah.
They all traded places, which is kind of funny.
Yep. So
I do find that really amusing that we're still in this story with the same three.
Yep.
Just a bit of reversals with some of the baby faces and heels.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Interesting video package after this. What did you think of the Cena Punk Yin and Yang video package?
It was good.
WWE nails these video packages.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't want to say it was random, but I wasn't really expecting it, but it was solid.
Yeah, I mean WWE is the best with their video packages.
Yeah. And this takes us to Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair. I believe this was Chelsea's first match, wasn't it? Wasn't her debut match against Charlotte?
Was it?
I think so. I don't know. I feel like these two have history. Alba Fire distracts Charlotte at some point in this match. Allows Chelsea to hit the Rough Rider. I was really hoping they would say it, but they didn't. Charlotte kicks it too. Charlotte ends up hitting a wicked spear on Chelsea. Chelsea kicks out. Charlotte ends up locking in the figure 8. And Chelsea taps, and as soon as she does, Piper Niven just squashes her with a senton. And Alexa Bliss comes out to make the save. She fights off the Secret Harvest, and she hits that big DDT on Chelsea. Charlotte gets the win, and Alexa fights them off. And I'm just like, no, because we were both kind of saying, man, I really don't want Alexa to team up with Charlotte. We're both Alexa fans, obviously. You are the bigger Alexa fan. But, man, I do not want to see her with Charlotte. Do not like Charlotte. We'll see where it goes, though. It's this interesting, treacherous, relationship. And it definitely escalated tonight.
Yeah, I don't really know, where they're going with this Charlotte and Alexa thing. And I don't want Alexa anywhere near Charlotte, frankly. But it is intriguing enough that I'm like, damn, where are they going with this? Because I actually have no idea.
We keep talking about that. Right. We are very invested in it because neither of us know.
Yeah, which is very rare for us. So, we've talked about this before with people, but both of us have been watching wrestling for majority of our life at this point. So when they're putting
almost 30 years already.
Yeah, so when they're putting out a storyline that neither one of us know where it's going, it's like, okay, you got me invested. Because at least one of us normally do, but
yeah.
So,
thinking about it now, I remember wrestling as far back as '96. I can't remember anything very vividly before that, but I remember Surfer Sting before he turned.
Yeah,
I remember the very end of Surfer. You know what? And I remember Hogan. I remember Hogan turning, and that's the summer of '96, right?
Yeah.
I vividly remember that somehow because I was fucking young. But.
Yeah, I mean, I have these small memories of stuff before. I feel like we started our like real fandom at an age that like you could probably around '02, right? Like I feel like that's really where we were at an age where like cuz my parents hate wrestling. They wouldn't let me watch it. It was a big issue. Cortland's parents are a fan of wrestling, so
Yeah.
I remember going to school and you telling me like what happened on Raw and SmackDown because I wasn't able to watch. Like I remember specifically one of the Raw in Vegas where they were doing like Raw roulette and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
'03 because Goldberg was there. I remember you
Yeah.
coming to school and telling me about it, and like how they had like the roulette wheel, and
Yeah. Wow.
I think it might have been when Triple H had put the bounty on Goldberg, and everybody
Yeah.
was like trying to take him out. So I remember you coming to school telling me about that.
What a
So
callback.
yeah, so I feel like that was really '02 or '03. You know, we were what 11 ish.
11 and 12. Yeah.
So like, I feel like that's the age where you really kind of can be a fan, fully like invested. You know. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, which was just such, you know, people say what they want about the, like, ruthless aggression era and stuff like that. Underrated. Underrated, man. Eddie, you know, Benoit, even I try, I'm not saying anything positive about what he did in person. I'm just saying, on screen, what a fucking character and what a wrestler.
You can't deny what he was able to do in the ring. He was, at the time,
I mean, Kurt Angle,
good at what he did.
Kurt Angle's openly said he was like, at this point I don't care. Like people can say what they want because like I can. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit was like he was like is like my top like 5 matches.
Yeah.
Is what's
Yeah,
for
real.
So, like you know, but yeah, I mean just Eddie, you know, just oh man, like
Brock. The rise of Brock was unreal.
Yep. I mean, we had such fun tag teams too. Like one of the most underrated tag teams that never get enough credit is Kendrick and London.
Bonds loves them. That's so funny that you say
Kendrick
that.
and London came out with the masks and the shorts. Oh, dude, they were such a cool team.
I loved Booker with Goldust. I really did.
Booker T and Goldust were hilarious.
When Goldust had the stutter, because he had gotten thrown into the electrical board or whatever.
Yeah.
My God, I freaking loved Goldust growing up. My God, this guy was so funny.
You know who had a lot of underrated teams? RVD. RVD and Booker T's tag champs was awesome. RVD and Rey Mysterio's tag champs were awesome. Like, RVD had some fun teams back in the day.
RVD was awesome.
He was so good.
Still is.
Still is. About to be a papa. A twin.
I saw that.
Yeah. So, anyways, we see JC Mateo taping up his wrist. What do you think of Jeff Cobb Mateo so far?
You know, he's getting regular TV time, which is great. We see him every week. I want to see him wrestle a little more. I love his moveset. I love his finisher. But you know what? He's getting a ton of TV time. I think once he fights Jacob, it's going to be awesome. You know, he's fine. I think we saw him eat a pin a little sooner than I would have wanted to. But the dude's solid. He's getting a ton of TV time. He's a beast.
I don't know why, but I desperately need him and Bronson Reed as a tag team.
Oh my God.
Like a legit tag team would be. Oh,
yeah.
They would be murderous.
It's just like. It's like Jeff Cobb and then like a younger, bigger version of himself. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Bronson Reed's just such a tank.
JC Mateo's taping up his wrist. Solo comes up. He tells Solo, take care of Jacob. Solo says, no. He says, relax. He says, I'm going to smooth things out. Don't worry, I'll handle this. He goes, but be ready. Just be ready. So Solo heads to the ring. Dude, what a flip from Solo being so damn boring to being so great so fast.
Yep.
So he comes to the ring. He says, Jacob, I welcome you with open arms, man. Come on out. Come on out. I love you. Come out. Let's talk about this. Let's So Jacob comes out. Solo says he's not here to fight. He says, Jacob, I love you. I love you, man. He said, families fight all the time, but they forgive. They move forward. He said, nobody saw the potential in you. You were nowhere. Nothing. Not true. He was MLW World Champion, bitch. But whatever. Don't disrespect MLW like that. He says, Jacob, you're all I have. He says, I need you. I love you. He says, all I need from you is 3 words. All I need to hear from you is I love you, Solo. 4 words, sorry. Jacob says the way he sees things, Solo has been using him for fame, gold, tribal chief, power. Solo's been acting different since Jacob won gold. He said maybe the gold's the problem.
Yeah.
So he lays the title down.
Lays it down.
He says, well, fight me for it. And they make a match, I think, in this promo for Night of Champions. Quicker than I thought.
He comes back and makes the match.
Oh, okay, do they? But either way, quicker than I thought. I thought they were going to hold off till SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, Solo goes for a Samoan strike, but Jacob catches it. JC hits the ring. They start beating down Jacob. And then Big Jim runs down to make the save. No yeet. But he gets taken out. Fatu recovers, takes out Solo and JC. They run off. And Fatu and Big Jim stand tall. What do you think?
Long look at each other.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's odd to see Jacob with Ooze. And we were talking about who we thought was going to be the babyface here. I love that Jacob is a babyface. This is crazy. As soon as he hit that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I knew as soon as the first time he did that, he was going to be the babyface because people love that.
Yeah, I just don't know how well he's in the way that they write stuff. I just don't know if it's going to come off compelling as him as a face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those situations, kind of like with Liv and Dom, where when they separate, they might just try to keep both heels. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, he might be the face against Solo, but then turn around and wrestle like a bigger face that keeps him heel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. One thing Triple H does do fairly well is like he'll have like 2 heels face off, and one might be a face in that story, but then he'll turn around and wrestle a face and be back to being heel. You know what I'm saying? It's less of like this person is this, and more of this person is this in this story specifically. You know what I'm saying? And all the characters have the ability to fluctuate enough that, like, you know, like, for instance, Black. We don't really know if Black's a heel or a face. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frankly,
he's just a bad mother trucker.
Bad mother. And Andrade's been here a year longer. I can't tell you if he's a face or a heel. So, like...
Yeah.
You know, so it...
As you say that, you know what I noticed about this show?
No Carmelo? Because that just hit me.
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say, but we got none of the Latino boys. No Andrade. No Legado. They won at that show, and we haven't seen them since, right? We haven't seen them since Worlds Collide.
I think they did
because I don't think they were on last week.
I think they did a recap, and then they did an exclusives where they had the AAA tag titles with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like you have them on TV going into that show a ton, and then we just haven't seen them.
Yeah.
kind of a drag.
Yeah, this show's weird. No Carmelo, no Miz, none of the Latinos. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there were some women missing. No Bianca this week. Like, so.
Yeah. I wonder, maybe this is just a dart throw. I really don't know.
Really,
I wonder if the people that aren't going overseas, they just don't have them on TV right now.
Hey, but
I don't know if there's a coincidence.
Except for that one little segment.
No.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah, it was a weird SmackDown.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like any segment really dragged that long, but I just feel like we didn't get, like, for a 3-hour show, we didn't get a lot of people on TV.
No,
I feel like there was too many recaps.
Maybe they try to get in the people that aren't going to be in Saudi.
Oh, maybe the opposite of what I said.
Right, because, like, why is LA Knight going to be there? Why are, well, Solo and Jacob will be if they're wrestling
for the
title.
You're right, because there was no Julia and Zelina.
Yeah.
They didn't have the tag matches. Okay, maybe you're right. Because they do end up listing all these matches we're going to get.
Right.
And it was all people we didn't see this week, so.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't get anything with Charlotte and Alexa next week. Maybe we don't get anything with LA Knight, or except for maybe a quick run-in. Like, maybe they're only going to ship over who they feel like they need. So they're giving the other people, like, something to do.
This is crazy times.
Yeah. And since we're going to be talking about... Actually, I'll wait until we talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this takes us to LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Bronson's in the Reed first. LA Knight's music hits. But he comes up from behind, pushes Braun Breaker into the ring post before the match. And the fight was on. LA Knight hit that springboard leaping elbow. Bronson Reed kicks out. Bronson Reed goes for a powerbomb. LA Knight counters into a DDT. And I really like that move because it looked like a legitimate struggle.
Yeah.
Like, right to the ground, they were fighting for who was going to be in control. And I loved that.
Yeah.
LA Knight ends up knocking Braun Breaker off the apron. And that gets the big man all fired up. So he goes in. He spears LA Knight. DQ end to the match. Breaker ends up hitting another spear, and then Bronson Reed hits not one, not two. He gets 3 tsunamis for this bloodthirsty crowd on LA Knight, and the bad guys stand tall over LA Knight.
Yeah.
Which you need. You need Bronson Reed looking strong. And then we literally just mentioned this. So they announced 3 matches, 3 championship matches.
Yes, sir.
For next Friday Night SmackDown. We get Julia versus Zelina for the Women's United States title. We get the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits. So I'm gonna guess that oh my God, what's his name? Dexter Lumis is fine. I know I was talking after that match like it looked like something was going on there. Maybe he's just fucking crazy. I don't know.
Well,
and then we get Nia Jax.
That could be a reason why they gave them, again, the week off.
Another week.
First off, let me state, they did it again. My big pet peeve with Triple H. Weren't we supposed to have a face-off this week with Zelina and Julia? Stop telling me shit's going to happen and then just drop it and pretend you never said it. That's my biggest pet peeve from Triple H. Stop doing that shit, dude. We were supposed to have that face-off. Zelina said it last week.
And we didn't. This is all we got was this preview.
Yeah, and 3 title matches, dude. Like, again, I get it. They want Raw and SmackDowns to feel big. And I get it that, like, in their head, they're like, okay, well, if this was the Vince era, these 3 matches would be on the pay-per-view, but we're just going to do it on SmackDown to make SmackDown feel bigger, especially when they sell all these, like, SmackDown before the pay-per-view and Raw after the pay-per-view thing. But, like, nobody else but you, Triple H, and The Office feels like these are pay-per-view matches. Like, are they getting paid like they wrestled on the pay-per-view? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, all 3 of these matches could be on the pay-per-view, but they're not. Like,
I also feel like it's because they're in Saudi, so they just want to pack in as many title matches as they can.
Right. I think Julia takes the title.
Yes.
I think that Zelina won it as a thank you more than anything else. So maybe Zelina wins it and Julia wins it in the second match, but I think Julia wins it. I think Tiffany retains.
Yep. Because we got Tiffany and Nia in that last woman standing.
I have no idea with these tag titles. I don't even know why the Wyatt Six are wrestling for the tag titles with all of these tag teams on SmackDown. At least on Raw would make sense, especially with the New Day. That kind of goes with the whole Wyatt Six storyline. But I have no idea why they're wrestling for the titles on SmackDown. So.
Yeah, because what do you do with the Six if they lose? But then who's going to challenge? I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic.
I mean, I don't particularly care if they lose. It's not like it's Bo losing, and it's not Eric Rowan. It's Gacy and Loomis. So especially Gacy can take a pin. So.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird. So weird.
I feel like there was a lot of focus on Fraxium, and then all of a sudden, nothing, and it's all Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Because we got Fraxium on TV for 2 months straight there because Axiom fought Gunther in Spain, and then they had Frazier come up and fight someone, and then they won 6 weeks in a row after that.
Yeah, I feel like they put a halt on certain things, and they want to get pieces in place for when they do the draft. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. It feels like they decided
they need to draft some fucking tag teams to Raw. My God.
Yeah. God, those Raw titles are so ugly compared to the SmackDown ones. Those SmackDown tag titles are gorgeous. Those Raw tag titles are gross.
They look like the ECW World Championship.
They literally look like pizzas. So, before we get into the breakdown, what do you feel about the Cena promo?
This was crazy. I'm really glad that this didn't get spoiled. So it took me a while to get here, but it wasn't me putting it off. I've just been so busy, I didn't even have time to look anything up. Cena cut the pipe bomb all over again. And it's funny because this whole story is about the yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
They swapped. And what happened in Vegas? Cena was laying in the ring, and Punk sat down and did this. And this was the complete opposite.
And if you remember, in that match, Cena was wrestling Truth.
I did not remember that.
When Punk cut the first pipe bomb, Cena was wrestling.
Wow. I did not know that nugget.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure.
I thought it was pretty neat. I like the parallel. I like some of the shots he threw in. I didn't love how short the match was. That's what annoyed me about this. So I looked at the time and I'm like, hell yeah, they got half an hour. Let's go. I did not expect, 15 minutes of it was the promo, I think. It was, maybe it was less. I think they cut to break the last time at 45. Or maybe they came back at 45, but still, yeah, and I think the match ended around 50, but he cut a promo for a while, man.
Yeah, this was long.
There was just nothing to this match. Truth comes out, he gets the takedown, Cena walks out, Truth goes and gets him, Cena drops him with the belt shot. DQ. And you couldn't even count to 2, and Punk's music hit.
Yeah. Did you see the conspiracy theory online about the names that Cena threw out there?
I did.
Yeah.
Matt, Nick, and someone with the initial CC.
Yeah. I don't think it goes that far, but I think these are probably 3 people that actually had an issue with Punk. But here's my thing. Do you follow what's his name? Scoops or on YouTube?
I don't.
Okay, so I think that's his last name or his name. It's something like that. But he does a lot of reactions and stuff like that. And I saw him, he put out a short almost right after SmackDown, and he put out such a good point. And people, because everybody was like, oh, this is the greatest promo like Cena's ever had. If I was John Cena and they were trying to say my greatest promo was a copy of somebody else's promo, I would be so pissed off and offended. Like, this was good, and it was good for the story, but like,
yes,
come on.
it was not his best promo.
No, Cena giving Roman boo-boo face, like...
Thank you. I was going to say my top two are, I think my favorite one is the one against Roman.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like when he trashed The Rock. Those are the first two that came to my mind.
Yeah.
But the Roman Reigns promo is definitely my favorite Cena promo.
And people forget.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, big dog. Talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
People forget, but he had some good stuff when he was the doctor at Thugonomics back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, this was cool. I can appreciate it. It felt a little cheesy. Because,
it was definitely cheesy.
You knew what was coming. Like, as soon as Punk went through that table, you were like, oh, here we go.
And he sat down. So I didn't know until he sat down and he tapped the mic, and I was like, oh my fucking God, here we go.
But I enjoyed it. So like you said, Truth takes him down. Cena grabs the belt, starts walking off. Truth runs after him. Cena drops him with the belt. Match is over. I think the last time he punched him in the dick. So this is twice now that Truth and Cena's ended in a DQ. As soon as he drops Truth, Punk's music hits. They immediately start exchanging shots. Cena kicks Punk in the junk, drops Punk with the chair shot, grabs the table, sets it up, hits Punk with the title again, AA through the table. Then Cena grabs the mic, sits on the top turnbuckle, and copies the pipe bomb. But it was enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's definitely fun to watch and listen to. He says Punk is the best bullshitter in the world. He waves at the crowd, talks about breaking the fourth wall. He says Punk changed his values as often as Cena changes his shirt. And Punk is a loudmouth opportunist who will step on the neck of people who actually work hard. Then he names drops Claudio Castagnoli, Nick Nemeth, and Matt Cardona. Which maybe Cena put some thought into that, but I do think these are three people that probably did have issues with Punk. I know, not Nick, but the other Nemeth does, so.
Ryan, yeah.
Ryan does, so. He says Punk just regurgitates the same 5 mic moves of doom, and his promo potato salad. And he's promo potato salad, Jesus Christ. He's not a punk. He's a capitalist. He's Mr. TKO. If after NOC Punk is still NOC, they say
Night of Champions.
Oh yeah, after Night of Champions, Punk is still delusional enough to think he's in best in the world. It really is a small world after all. The best in the world versus the GOAT for the most coveted prize in sports entertainment. He tells USA to keep the extra 2.5 minutes. He doesn't need a bomb to...
So do you know what he said when it bleeped out? I couldn't find it.
No. Something this building. So that was...
Mother-fudging building.
Right. So it was good. It was enjoyable. It was a little predictable once he started. You kind of knew the beats he was going to hit, but it was still fun to watch and listen to. It
was cool because some of it was the exact same thing. The beginning was the exact same.
Right.
But then parts of it he spun to fit the current narrative.
Exactly.
Because when Punk said it, he said, you think you're the best in the world. The only thing you're better at than me is kissing Vince McMahon's ass.
Yeah.
This time, he's like, you're the best bullshitter in the world.
Yeah.
I
like that. He's like, he's like, you're a millionaire. You're not a punk. You're a capitalist. Like, like, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think if it was a better SmackDown, I probably would have enjoyed this more. But I do think for me, I watched it live. I watched it straight through. and I think I was kind of over it. Like, I was like, let's just fucking end this show. I'm so done with this episode. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably could have or should have. So, but next week, Night of Champions. And
it's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
I got bad news, though.
What's that?
I'm not going to be able to do the SmackDown show next week.
That's fine.
And it stinks because this is a killer weekend.
Are we going to see Night of Champions?
Are we going to what?
See you for Night of Champions?
If we do it, is Night of Champions Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
I can do it Monday. I forgot that we made plans to do an overnight hike, and it was like one thing Natasha really wanted to do. So
right. See,
I know. I had that reaction when we talked about it last night, and I was like, no.
This is how we do it. We just talk about shit live on the pod, so you guys can hear it. You know? So we'll figure it out. Either way, if it's not Court, it'll probably be Addict with me. I'll get a hold of him and see if he wants to do SmackDown Night of Champions. If you end up being busy, you know. Let's face it, besides Cena Punk, it's not like it's a super giant show. We'll figure it out. We'll talk it out a little bit. But either way, you'll see him for Raw and NXT at least.
Yes.
You'll see me for all four. And we will do our predictions when we do our NXT review. So keep that in mind that we got NXT and predictions that day. So
yep.
That is everything. That is SmackDown. That is your Cena pipe bomb. Give us your like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. Let us know if we dummies or if you agree with us. Let us know who you pick, who you think's going to win these matches on SmackDown. And tell us why you think the Wyatt Six are going for the tag titles. Storyline wise, why does that logically make sense to you? Because it doesn't me. Yeah, man. So we'll see everybody Monday. Got anything else to close up on this?
No, man. It was, I think at the end of the day, we're just going to remember the pipe bomb. It was a fine SmackDown, but I'm very excited for next week. I'm bummed I'm not going to be here to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be shooting you plenty of texts. But yeah, I'm just going to be off the grid for all of Sunday, which stinks, and I work all day Friday and Saturday, so I'm going to have a busy Monday doing a lot of catch-up.
If Cortland doesn't end up doing the Night of Champions review, we will get his personal review before we do Raw. So
right.
We'll talk, you and I will talk it out before our Raw review. So maybe we'll just do that so that way you can just focus on your weekend. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
Either way, like I said, give us your like, subscribe, follow, and notification bell, comments. Tell us how great we are. Support us, and the more we can do this. Because if you watch the show and you're like, man, these bums be taking weeks off, that's because we got grown-up jobs. And the only way that would ever change is that you guys support us and support us in multiple ways. You know what I'm saying? So, as of now, grown-up jobs sometimes takes precedent over YouTube. So, but we will see you guys Monday with our Raw review. Everybody enjoy your wrestling. Peace.